Alright, welcome YouTube. This is, in theory, going to be a quick Homebrew Wednesday. Should go up on Wednesday the 22nd of May. We're going to do a short pour on the Sorachi Ace Rye that we made. It's been in the keg for almost a week. I did turn up my pressure a little bit partway through the carbonation. We'll see how that works out. You know, there's more than one school of thought. One school of thought is that you can get your beer ready quickly if what you do is you put it on 30 pounds. A lot of people roll it. You know, you can put it on the floor, put it on its side, put on 30 pounds of pressure and roll it a bit for like 7 minutes and agitate it, and it's carbonated and you're good to go. My system, that works. Done it. I've carbonated quickly. The other school of thought is turn it up to 30 and leave it overnight, and for the most part you'll be carbonated. Done that. Works. The downside for me is that my regulator, getting the dispensing pressure just right, somewhere for me in the 5 to 7 pounds range, is a balancing act, getting it just right and locking it down so it stays. So I tend to like to keep it there, which requires about a week to carbonate. You put it in there, you leave it at that, 6.5, 7 pounds for a week, and it's carbonated. The downside, of course, is that I don't wait because, well, I have no patience, and so I tend to jump the gun occasionally. And so what I did is a couple days in, I turned it up a little bit, probably to about 10 or 12, and haven't turned it down yet, and so it may be a little forceful on the pour. I'm not too worried about that because I'm not going to fill this glass. I just want a little tasting notes on that beer at the moment. It's a hoppy beer, and so I don't mind doing some tasting notes early to see what I smell and what I taste. Like I said in past videos about the Sorachi Rye, I expect to take 3 or 4 more shots at it before I get it where I want it. It was good the first time. This time I expect it to be a good beer. I just expect, I plan on 3 or 4 more revisions to this recipe before I get it where I want it. So we're going to pour that in just a second. It's also probably going to be a little cloudy. It's early on in the keg, and there's a fair amount of hop debris in this one that's going to settle down. It's been there for a while, so I'm hoping that it's starting to settle in there. But this is one where it would behoove me to put my hops in bags. I don't typically. Also, usually, I don't worry about getting the very last drops out of the bucket when I keg. Well, this one had not a ton of volume. This one was a low volume. And so I took more than I might have otherwise. So let's get the tap out here and see what we can do. Is that it's pretty carbonated. Yeah, it's developing a little head. Let's give that a second to sit. Okay, she's got a little bit of head on it, and the truth is that she's starting to clear up. If my camera was on a little higher setting, you'd be able to tell that there's still a fair bit of hop matter in there, but that's okay. Like I said, that's never been a criteria that's been a big deal to me. But let's see what. Okay, I catch some lemon on the nose, which is really what I was hoping to get from this batch. I mean, it's not a punch in the face lemon, but that's not what I wanted. I didn't want a lemon shandy. That's not what I was looking for. Just a little bit of citrus note was what I wanted, and it's there. Very nice. It's got a good amount of bitter. Let me pull up Beersmith real quick here while I'm doing this so that I can tell you what the IBUs are supposed to be on this as brewed. Cloud Sorachi Rye. Okay, so by design, this is supposed to sit. It's supposed to sit 48. I would think I got better utilization than that. There's a fair amount of bitter on the tongue, not not overpoweringly so, but nice. And the hops are definitely forward. The color has come out correct. I'm happy with that. I had added a little bit of the caramel 40 just for color. I don't really get any malty anything here, which that's why it's mostly it's rye and pale. I catch the spice of the rye, which is really all I want the grain to bring to this. And as it sits for a minute and warms, I definitely start to catch the rye on my tongue, which is obviously the other part of what I was looking for here. Now, I may not get any better head than that on this beer because of the lemon peel that got the lemon zest that got added right at the end of the boil. I'll have to make a determination on how much that adds. I may drop that out next time and see whether I still get the lemon note. I'll fiddle with that. Like I said, I expect to fiddle with this a few more times, but this is very close to the flavor profile that I'm looking for. Very happy with this, and so trying to keep this brief, which it won't be because not very good at that. Probably switching out my mash tun. If you watch my videos, I have my blue cooler that I use as a mash tun. It does a nice job. It's worked out fairly well. I changed, and if you probably didn't notice on the last video, but I changed the hardware on it. And it's got a much better valve on it, much better system. Well, there were some high temp rubber hoses in there before, and so it didn't matter. That the truth is my cooler, where it comes out, there's an angle. It's not even that much, but which is not a big deal on the outside, but on the inside that means that it sits up. And it didn't before because of the flexibility of the tubing, and so it sat pretty still on the bottom of the cooler. While it's up a little bit, not a ton, but it's a much nicer piece of hardware. But because of it, I'm not getting the liquid that's right at the bottom. I don't know how much I'm losing. That may have been a contributing factor to not getting more volume. I stopped when I got to the gravity that I needed, and had I been catching that was probably some pretty good liquid that I left behind. So I'm gonna I have a new cooler that I want to pick up probably in the next 2 days and put the same hardware on. I'll just take the plastic piece out of the new one, put it in the old one, and that'll become a picnic cooler once again. And so I'm going to change up that hardware and see what that does. I may or may not do that before I brew the next beer, because the next beer is all the stuff is in-house. The grains aren't ground yet, but they're measured out for the Fug Nugget IPA, the second IPA in a row. I probably would have already done that, but it's been not very nice weather for the last few days, and then before that was some of the nicest weather we've had so far this summer. And so me and the boy were off playing in the kayak. Not a lot of brewing going on then. Pretty happy with the Sorachi Rye. Pretty critical of it because I know what I want it to be, but as American IPAs go, very good. And what little head is there seems to be reasonably persistent. So we'll take it for now. Cheers. 17.